In today's video, we're going to be talking about impact. So I'm going to be sharing with you 2 killer moves that I see golfers make day in, day out at impact. And we're going to be talking through how you can improve your impact for a more consistent contact. Stay tuned for more info. Welcome back to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, today at Branston Golf and Country Club. Today's video is all going to be about impacts. This is part of a series I'm filming on 2 killer moves. So I've done a 2 killer moves in the backswing, 2 killer moves in the downswing, and I'll put the link to both of them just up here. Well worth a watch. But today's video is all going to be about impacts. So the moment of a truth, we're talking about that point there where the club's striking the ball and what can we do differently to improve our impact position, and what do I see a lot of players go wrong with. So I'm going to be focusing here on a driver, but this is relevant whether we're talking about hybrids, irons, wedges. It doesn't really matter to me. I just thought I'd pick on the long club, perhaps the club that golfers struggle with a little bit more, but this is true and relevant with any golf club. So the first fault I see at impact is the player's body stalling, not getting open enough. So open for me as a right-handed golfer means that I'm starting to get my torso and my hips rotating a little to the left, opening up towards the target. How much depends on flexibility, but the more we can get our body open, the better. What we're not doing is getting the sequence wrong where we're trying to hit it from the start of the downswing, and if that is something you struggle with, my movement the video I've done on the 2 killer moves on the downswing is really going to help you, and again, check that out with the link just up here. But what we're talking about here is impact. So what we see with the best players in the world is they are the most open by the time they hit the ball. It's a massive power source, but it's also that consistency of strike. So where I see a lot of golfers go wrong is their body stalls and then their hands flip, tend to get a little bit aggressive, a little bit overactive with hands and arms through the hitting zone. And often when I'm recording and we see from the downline point of view, we will see the end of the club pointing back towards the camera. What I like to see is the end of the club hidden because it's working behind my lead hip. So I don't really want the end of the grip pointing back at the camera. And it's a drill that we could quite simply do. We could put a small tee peg in the end of the grip. If we had a mirror behind us or we were getting it on video, we would just try and feel like instead of that movement where the tee peg is pointing backwards, which you can see my body isn't really open, it's about square, and my hands have really been very aggressive through the hitting zone, we can see the end of the tee peg pointing backwards. If I can keep my body opening, the tee peg is pointing more towards my left pocket and it wasn't pointing back at the camera, so there was a body rotation, getting open, not a stall with the body and a flip. The other exercise I just get you to do is put the club across your shoulders, nice and level, make a backswing movement. In impact, I want you to feel like you get that club over the top of the golf ball. To get that club over the top of the golf ball, my hips and my torso are open, there was no stall with my body. So I'm rotating my body and just rotating my body and pushing off into impact. So we can get that sensation of allowing our body to open that clear space by getting my left hip out the way. That allows my hands to work more inwards and I just get a more consistent impact. So the first fault is what I'd class as the body stalling and a hands release or a hands flip. So we tend to see that end of the club pointing backwards away from the target. Now there have and are some good players. If you look at a Mickelson, he does get his body open, but also gets a lot of hand action through impact. But you wouldn't necessarily say he's the most consistent driver in the game. You know, he can play some good golf, he can generate some speed, absolutely, but he's not the best driver in the world. He does rely on a fantastic short game. So we see that end of the handle pointing backwards towards the camera behind him. I'm trying to make this game easier by using your body more. So the second fault And it is very much linked to the first one. And when I've picked on these killer moves, I've tried to pick on areas that actually are intertwined, almost linked there. So it's players trying to keep their head down. When I see players trying to keep their head down too long, again, we don't see the body opening, and we tend to see the hands flip. When I'm getting this body release, my head is being taken along for the journey. So I don't like seeing a player's head staying down too long. I like them to try and rotate their head towards the target a little bit sooner. And as I said, there's obviously that link between the two there, so you may find it easier focusing on the head. Now, I've heard Justin Rose talk about he tries to get his right ear to the golf ball. So if he gets his right ear to the golf ball, his head is rotating. His chest is rotating, his hips are rotating, and again, he's creating space for his handle to move more inwards to the left. So it's a great feeling for you. Right ear to the golf ball. My body is open, my release is much more body, less hands. It's a great feeling for you. So let me see if I can put those parts together. So whether I'm going with the practice movement with the club across my shoulders, trying to get the club towards the ball, I could even link that with my right ear towards the ball and the club to the ball. My body is opening, allowing my hands to work more inwards, more to the left, which is what I'm really looking for with this body release. So let me see if I can put that into a practice swing behind the golf ball, getting that sensation of my body rotating, not stalling, my head rotating as well, my right ear almost moving towards the ball. You don't have to focus on all of those, but perhaps you can pick on an area that makes the most sense to you to get open at impact, stop your body stalling, and meaning that we can actually create more of a body release rather than a hands and arms. Let me see if I can put that into a movement. I'm going to just keep going with that feeling of really allowing my body to open up. I'll definitely take that one. I couldn't hit that any straighter down there towards the edge of the green on the par 4 here. Absolutely spot on, really got my body opening. The ball flight couldn't have been straighter. For me, it was a nice simple swing thought of just allowing my body to keep rotating rather than stalling. I don't know where I was focusing, but I definitely wasn't trying to keep my head down on the golf ball. If you struggle at impact, it might well be that you're making 1 or 2 of these faults, and using a swing thought as simple as trying to get your body to keep rotating will really improve your impact position and get you more consistent next time you get on the golf course. If that video has helped, make sure you hit the thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel for all the other content every Tuesday and Thursday, as well as some Saturday specials.